Hi, welcome to the Intensive Python and Data Analysis Libraries Diploma. Python programming language is one of the most popular programming languages for everyone. Why? Python can be used for data science, machine learning, server-side, desktop apps, and many other areas. Also, it has a large library, so you don't have to write your own code for every single thing. Because of this, companies want to hire Python developers and Python data analysts, and they are some of the most well-paid. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson about installing the Anaconda toolkit on your device. Our working environment in this course is the Jupyter Notebook, and to download and install the Jupyter Notebook, you need to install the Anaconda toolkit for data science. We will download the open source individual distribution for the Anaconda toolkit, and this is the easiest way to perform Python programming language for data science and machine learning on a single machine. Anaconda is a cross-platform distribution, so you can download it for Windows, for Mac OS, and for Linux also. You can download any specific version you need. Once you download the install launcher for the Anaconda toolkit, you can open it to start the installation process. And easily you can complete the setup process for the Anaconda toolkit on your device by default. Then hit finish after finishing all the installation process. After completing the installation process for the Anaconda toolkit, you can open the Jupyter Notebook using the Anaconda Navigator or the Anaconda prompt, and I'll show you that in next lessons. We will explore everything related to the Jupyter Notebook in detail. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson about the Markdown language inside the Jupyter Notebook. You can add a Python code inside the Jupyter Notebook, and also you can add some text using the Markdown language. Markdown is a markup language used inside the Jupyter Notebook cells to add some text, to add headers, plain text, lists, links, and many more. And in this lesson I will show you how to use this language inside the Jupyter Notebook cells to add some text, to add headers, plain text, lists, and links. One way to open the Jupyter Notebook from your device is by using the Anaconda prompt. From the start menu, you can type in the search box Anaconda prompt and open it, and you will see a pop-up window like that. You can type Python -- version and hit enter or return to check the version that is installed on your device, and this version, as you can see, Python 3.8.8. We installed this stable version of Python programming language using the latest version of the Anaconda toolkit. One way to open or launch the Jupyter Notebook is by using the Anaconda prompt. You can just type this command Jupyter Notebook and hit enter or return and wait for the Jupyter Notebook to be opened. Jupyter Notebook is a web-based application. You can use it offline if you wish, and it's free open source program. And once you open the Jupyter Notebook using the Anaconda prompt or the Anaconda Navigator, you will see this main screen here. Let's go to the place of our working files to create a Python file inside it. And in this case, our working files folder is in the desktop. So go to this folder, and from the new menu you can create a new Python notebook. From the new menu you can create Python notebook, you can create text file, folder, or open a terminal if you wish. Once you start a new Python notebook inside the Jupyter Notebook, you can rename it from untitled to any name if you want, and hit rename after that to set this name as a new name for this notebook. After creating the Python notebook inside the working files, you can go to the location of this folder or this file, and you will see Introduction to Jupyter. This notebook is created here. The name of the file followed by the extension for the Jupyter Notebook. Before using the Markdown language inside the Jupyter Notebook, let's take a simple overview about the Jupyter Notebook. Let's start by talking about the file menu. You can create a new Python notebook from this file menu. You can open a new notebook. You can make a copy or save files or notebooks, or you can rename this file or this notebook, and many more. You can download also this notebook if you wish using download as. From the edit menu, you can cut cells, copy cells, or delete the whole cell if you wish using delete cells. You can split, merge, and move cells if you wish. And from the view menu, you can toggle header or toggle toolbar and more. If you want to insert cell above your cell or insert cell below your cell, you can go to the insert menu to do this. Now let's take a look at the cell menu. From the cell menu, you can run the cell to run the code. Also, you can make a cell, code cell, or markdown cell using code or markdown. From the kernel menu, you can restart the notebook. Also, you can restart and clear output. Also, you can restart and run all the cells inside the notebook. You can also reconnect if you wish. And if you want to shut down this notebook completely, you can use the option shutdown from the kernel menu. Also, from the widgets menu, you can save notebook widget state or clear notebook widget state, or you can download widget state, as you can see. And if you want to get some help, you can go to the help menu and you will see references for the markdown language and also for Python language, for IPython, for NumPy, Matplotlib, Pandas, and more. Now it's time to use the markdown language inside the Jupyter notebook. Let's see how to use this markup language in action. First of all, if you want to make a cell, markdown cell, you can do that from the cell menu by choosing the cell type, and from the cell type you can choose the option markdown. This will make this cell a markdown cell, not a Python code cell. And you can use the markup language to create headers using the hash symbol. You can create first level of headers using one hash symbol. Also, you can use 2 hash symbols for the second level of headers, and so on. Also, you can add plain text using the markdown option or the markdown language. A notebook is a combination of text and code, like this Jupyter notebook here. You can create a cell of markdown language to add some text, and also in the same notebook you can add Python code in other cells. Remember, if you want to create a markdown cell in the Jupyter notebook, go to the cell menu and choose the markdown option from the cell menu. After that, you can use any markdown syntax inside the current cell. For example, to add headers, to add plain text, to add links, and more. Once you type a markdown syntax or a markdown text inside a cell or inside a markdown cell, hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to show the output. To show the output of using the markdown language in the markdown cell. In the markdown language, you can use the asterisk operator to create lists. For example, here, first line, then second line. This is a list. This is a simple list of bullet points. First line in list, then second line in list. You can use the same syntax and make the cell markdown cell first, then use the same syntax for the markdown language and hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to show this output. Also, you can create lists with numbers if you wish, using the markdown language also, like that. And if you want to insert a link, you can do that using square brackets, like in this example here. The link is inside square brackets, and make this cell markdown cell also, and hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to show the output, as you can see. That's it. So easy and so simple, as you can see. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone. You can use the Jupyter notebook to code with Python programming language in cells, in addition to adding some text using the markdown language as we did in the previous lesson. And in this lesson I will show you how to write your first code with Python programming language inside the Jupyter notebook cells. So let's get started. At the beginning you can add a markdown cell to add a header for your code if you wish. Our header in this example is using print to display messages. And this is by using the markdown language, as we did previously in the previous lesson. After placing this header using the markdown features from the cell menu with the hash symbol, also a single hash symbol to put this header, you can hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to show the output or to show the text like that. This is our header using print to display messages. In the next cell, let's code with Python programming language after placing the markdown header. You can use the print function, for example, to print out a message on the screen or to print out a string data type. This is a quick example or a quick overview of how to code with Python programming language in cells inside the Jupyter Notebook. And don't worry, because every Python syntax and every Python code we will write here, we will explain it in detail in this course later, theoretically and practically also. In this example we have here, the print function is used to print out this message on the screen. Hi, welcome to this Python data analysis and visualization course. And you can see once you hit Shift Enter or Shift Return, you will get this output. Hi, welcome to this Python data analysis and visualization course. This is the output from using this statement or this snippet of code. A statement in Python programming language is a snippet of code to perform something or to do some action. A statement is like the print function here to print out this collection of characters in between double quotes on the screen. And you can type many statements, not only a single statement inside the same cell, exactly like this example here. The first line of code or the first statement is the print function to print out first message on the screen, followed by another print function to print another message, which is second message on the screen, or the string data type called second message. And the third statement in the same cell is the print function also to print out third message. And once you hit Shift Enter or Shift Return, you will get first message followed by second message followed by third message. Also, you can assign a type of data to a variable, and after that, after running this cell, you can use the same variable later in next cells, exactly as in this example. We declared a variable. A variable is a container or a memory location to store type of data like that, to store values, and this value is the hello world message. And this message is collection of characters, as you can see, is a string data type, and we stored it inside the variable called x. And after that, in the next cell, we used the print function to print out the value of x using its name. The argument for the print function is x in this case, as you can see. And once you hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to run the cell of the print function to print x, you will get hello world as an output for this cell. This is simply how Python programming language works inside the Jupyter Notebook cells. Every Python type and every Python syntax we used in this lesson, we will dive deeply into it in this course, theoretically and practically, as we said beforehand. Also, for this example here, you can use a variable name to show its value or to access its value directly. Type x like this example here, the variable name to get its value, and hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to run the cell, and you will get the hello world message. And also in the Jupyter Notebook, you can import any Python package, any Python library, and use it directly. For example, NumPy, Matplotlib, and Pandas libraries, you can use all of them by importing them using the import statement, and you can use all of them without any need for installing any of them. Just you can use the import statement directly to import, for example, NumPy, to import Matplotlib, to import Pandas, as you can see. And they ask you to rename this package or this library like in this example here, and after that you can hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to run this cell for importing libraries for data science, and after that you can use any of them without any problem, without any errors. For instance, you can use an NumPy library to create an array, and you can import the arrange function from this library by calling it directly using its name, arrange function, to display sequence of numbers inside an array. And once you hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to run the cell, you will see a simple array for sequence of numbers from 0 to 6, but 7 is not included. The value inside the parentheses of the arrange function, 7, is not included here inside this array. This array starts from 0 to 6. This is a simple overview about how to code with Python programming language inside the Jupyter Notebook. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson about the Anaconda prompt. In this lesson I will show you how to code quickly inside the Anaconda prompt and also how to use it for testing purposes. Inside the Anaconda prompt, you can type a Python statement or any Python code and hit enter directly or return to show the output without any need to create any Python file or anything like that. You don't need to create a file or save it or anything like that. Just you can type the Python code directly and hit enter or return to execute it directly using the REPL. That refers to read, evaluate, print, and loop. The Anaconda prompt will read your statement, then evaluate it and print out the result on the screen in the next line, and loop to type the next statement and do the same thing. So let's get started to see this in action. To open the Anaconda prompt, you can go to the search menu and type Anaconda prompt and hit enter to open it, and after that you will see this pop-up window here. And to open the Python interpreter or the Python shell or the Python prompt, type Python directly and hit enter or hit return, and you will see the prompt symbol or the 3 greater than symbol in the left side. And after this symbol directly, you can type in a Python code and hit enter to show the output of this code or to show the output of this statement. For example, you can use the print function to print out a message on the screen, or this string data type in that case. Hi, welcome to this course. This is our string data type in between the parentheses or in between the braces of the print function as an argument for this function. The print function is a built-in function from the Python library. You can call it directly without any need to design it or define it from the beginning to the end. Just you can use it directly using its name followed by parentheses and place the arguments for the print function or the values for the print function in between its parentheses. Like in this example here, the program will read this statement, or the command prompt or the Anaconda prompt will read this statement, evaluate it, and print the result, which is hi, welcome to this course. This is the output, and after that loop to read the next statement. And you can see the Python prompt symbol is placed again after this printing or after this result. And this is like it's ready for the next Python statement. You can type in a Python statement after that and execute it again. You can type in a Python statement. You can use Python programming language as a calculator, like this example here. 10 plus 7 multiplied by 8, and the output after hitting enter or return is printed directly. 66, as you can see. No need to create a file, no need to save a file, but in large programs you cannot do that. You can use this way for quick coding and quick testing if you wish. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson about variables and data types in Python programming language. Instead of inserting the same data type many times inside your program, you can store this data type inside a variable, and you can use the same variable name many times inside your program without any need for initializing the same data type many times. And the definition of a variable in Python programming language, it's a memory location to store values. A variable is like container for storing values. For example here, the variable name in that case is lang, and its value is a string data type, sequence of characters in between double quotes. This is how we initialize any variable in Python programming language or declare any variable. Just all what you need to do is initializing the variable name directly without any need for any keyword like in other programming languages. Also in Python programming language, to declare a variable, just put the name of the variable directly without any need to put the type for the value. For example, if you want to declare integer number, you don't need to put int before the variable name like in C++ or any other programming language. In Python programming language, you can put the variable name directly and assign a value to it using a single equal sign or assignment operator. Also, there are some rules for naming variables in Python programming language. For example, you cannot start the variable name with a number, but you can use letters or underscore character. You can put a number inside the variable name, but not at the beginning of the variable name. You must start the variable name with underscore character or a letter. Like in this example here, lang is equal to Python, and try to put a descriptive variable name. Also make the variable name more readable for everyone to give some meaning for the variable name and describe its value. Also, you cannot use any Python keyword from the Python library as a variable name. For example, you cannot use true as a variable name, or false, or if, or while, or any reserved keyword from the Python library. And there are 4 basic data types in Python programming language. We will talk about all of them in this lesson. Int, or integer number. Integer number is a number without decimal point. So positive numbers are integers, negative numbers are integers, 0 is integer also. Positive numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, any number without any decimal point is considered integer number. And the same thing for negative numbers. The second type we are going to be talking about in this lesson is float, floating point numbers, any number with a decimal point. Like for example 1.2, 1.5, minus 5.3, and so on. Any number with a decimal point is considered a floating point number. Our third data type here is bool, or boolean value. Boolean value in Python programming language represents by one of 2 values, true or false. The last data type we have in this lesson is str, or string data type. String data type in Python programming language is sequence of characters. You can use string to store text or message in between double quotes or single quotes. Now let's see all of that in action. Let's take our first example. Our first example here, as you can see, is a variable called message, a descriptive variable name, more readable, and you must start the variable name with a letter or underscore character. As you can see here, we started this variable name with a letter, and this variable name has a meaning. It's a message, and its value is, this is a comprehensive coarse string data type collection of values in between double quotes. This is called string data type, to store collection or store text like that. And if you want to access this string data type, you can use the variable name message. And also you can take a look at this example. We used a single equal sign or assignment operator to store a value from the right side to a variable on the left side. You can see this is called a statement in Python programming language. A statement is just a snippet of code or a line of code to perform something or to do some action. After that, you can use the print function from the Python library. It's a built-in function. You can use it directly by calling it, using its name, print, and in between its parentheses, put the variable name as an argument in between the parentheses of the print function to access the value of this variable called message. And once you hit shift enter or shift return, you will get the output, or you will get the value of this variable called message. The value of this variable is our string data type. This is a comprehensive course. As you can see, you can put in string instead of that. You can try with another variable instead of message and use the print function like that and put the variable name in between the parentheses of the print function. This is about using a variable name and printing its value using the print function. Now let's move on to take another example. We will declare 3 variables, x, y, and z, like that. The value of x in this case is integer number, a number without any decimal point, 10 without decimal point. The value of y is a floating point number or float. This number 20.3 is a number with a decimal point, so this is considered a floating point number or float. And the value of z, as you can see, is a complex number. A complex number with 2 parts, the real part 20 and the imaginary part, and the imaginary part is plus 5j in that case. And after that, you can simply use the variable name to access its value directly without any need to use the print function to print out its value. You can see simply the value of x is 10, the value of y is 20.3, and the value of z, this complex number in between round braces, 20 plus 5j, the value of z variable. Let's go ahead to talk about boolean in Python programming language, or bool. Bool is the class name that any boolean value in Python programming language belongs to. You can see in this case we created an example. We created a variable called test and its value is true, a boolean value. You can place false instead of true if you wish. And the type built-in function after that, you can call the type built-in function. It's a built-in function from the Python library. You can invoke it directly without any need to design it from the beginning. Just put its name, type, and in between its parentheses, put the variable name test as an argument for this type. To get the type for the value of test, the type built-in function in Python programming language will display the type for any kind of data, or will display the class name that any data type in Python programming language belongs to. As in this example here, the type for test is bool because its value is a boolean value. And also you can use the type built-in function for int to get the class name that any integer number in Python programming language belongs to. As you can see, type of 1 is int, and that refers to integer number data type. Also you can use the type built-in function for a floating point number or float to get its type. And we have a simple example here. The type built-in function and its argument is this number with a decimal point, 2.5, and by running this cell using shift enter or shift return or go to the cell menu to run this cell, you will get float. The type built-in function will display float, the class name for this type of data. Also you can use the type built-in function for complex numbers or any data type if you wish. And we have an example here for a complex number, and this complex number is 3j, and the class name that this type of data belongs to is complex, or the type of data that is inside the parentheses of the type built-in function is a complex number. And you can put any kind of data like lists, for example, the type built-in function, and in between its parentheses is a list collection of values, as you can see, and the type built-in function displays list in the output, as you can see. So easy and so simple. And this is a simple data structure in Python programming language to store collection of values. And in this course we will dive deeply into basic and advanced data types and data structures in Python programming language. Also you can use a variable name as an argument for the type built-in function. For example, the message variable we created previously, you can use it as an argument for the type built-in function, and the type of its value is str or string data type. That collection of characters inside the variable called message belongs to the class str or string data type. Also you can use collection of characters in between the parentheses of the type built-in function directly as an argument. Here we have an example for that. In between the parentheses of the type built-in function, or in between the parentheses for the calling of the type built-in function, we inserted hello world to display its value, which is str or string data type. That's it, so simply and so easily. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson about comments in Python programming language. You should use comments in Python programming language to describe what is inside your code. Also to make your code more readable and understandable after typing it. And you can start a comment in Python programming language using the hash symbol. Then you can type anything you wish inside this comment. This is considered a comment. Any line starts with the hash symbol. This is a comment in Python programming language. And you can see this is the syntax of a comment in Python. The hash symbol, then this is comment syntax in Python. And the program will not execute any comment. The Python interpreter or the Python program will not execute any comment. Just for human readability. Comments for human readability, to make your code more understandable, more readable, to put hints for your code. But the program will not execute any comment from inside your code, and I'll show you that practically. And you can put single line comment using one hash symbol and multi-line comments using multiple hash symbols after each other. Here is a simple example for single line comment in Python programming language. The first type of comments. You can insert this comment like that. The hash symbol followed by the line or followed by the comment you want to put. Like in this example, the hash symbol followed by block single line comment. This is considered a single line comment, and once you hit shift enter or shift return, you will see this is a comment, not a Python code. And if you try to type a program or to put a code inside the same cell, you will see the program will not execute this comment. The program will execute any Python code, but will not execute this single line comment. It's only for human readability or to make your code more understandable. You can put things like printing hi Jupiter, printing anything or anything like that, anything or any text you wish. And you can see once you hit shift enter or shift return to run this cell, you will see the output of the Python code. The output by printing using the print function, by printing text, the value of the variable called text, which is hi Jupiter. And our comment we placed, block single line comment, will not be appeared in the output. A comment is not for the program execution. It's only for human readability, to make everyone understand what is inside the code. And the correct way to place a comment in Python programming language, you can start before the code by starting from the beginning of any line, or you can place a single line comment after you type a line of code or after you type a statement. But in this example here, inside the print function, this is not a comment because this is a string data type inside the print function as an argument inside the parentheses of the print function. And once you hit shift enter or shift return, the print function will print out what is inside its parentheses like that. This is not a comment after the hash symbol. As you can see, you could place a comment before your code or at the end of your code or at the end of any line of code. After this statement, for example, you can place a comment. And you can see we placed a comment here after completing this line of code or this statement to print out the hash symbol. This is not a comment. And then you can see our comment is, but this is a comment after the hash symbol. This is the way you can place a comment in Python programming language. Also in Python programming language, you can create multiple line comment using multiple hash symbol or multiple hash characters. As you can see in this example here, first line of comment, second line of comment, then the hash symbol and third line of comment. You can see this is considered a multi-line comment in Python programming language. For best practicing and to make your comment more readable, try to leave out a space. Try to put a space, white space between the hash symbol and the comment content, like that here. That's it about comments in Python programming language. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson. In this lesson we will be talking about white spaces and indentation in Python programming language. Python programming language uses indentation to define a block of code. And simply Python will recognize a block of code using white spaces, like curly braces in other programming languages. And simply many other programming languages use curly brackets to define a block of code or to recognize a block of code. But in Python, just white spaces. Put the appropriate white spaces to make the Python programming language define this block of code. And these white spaces or indentation in Python programming language are equal to 4 white spaces. 4 white spaces will be inserted automatically after hitting shift enter or shift return after the block of code header. So for example, if you complete conditional if statement header and putting a colon to mark the end of a header for the conditional if statement, you can hit enter or hit return after that, and you will see your text editor or IDE or notebook or any IDE you use will insert 4 white spaces automatically. And without putting these appropriate white spaces or indentation, you will get this error in the output. Indentation error, expected unindented block. Now let's see this in action. In this example here, we declared this variable called text previously, and its value is a string data type, hi Jupiter. And if you want to put a white space before the name of this variable, you will get indentation error. You cannot do that. To declare a variable like that, you must start from the beginning of the line. To avoid this kind of errors, try to remove this white space before the name, before the variable name text, to avoid indentation error and unexpected indent. And once you remove this white space, you will see everything is working without any complication, without any error, without indentation error, as you can see in the output. So simple. Let's take another example, but in this example, I will show you how to define a block of code using indentation. Here we have a simple example for the conditional if statement. We define the conditional if statement using the if keyword first. And if the conditional if statement true, the program will execute its body in this case. And you can see the body of the conditional if statement is indented using 4 white spaces automatically. Once you hit enter or hit return after the colon at the end of the header for the conditional if statement, you will see 4 white spaces are inserted automatically before the print function to print hello world. And simply Python uses these indentation or these white spaces to define this block of code for the conditional if statement. If you try to remove the 4 white spaces before the print function, you will get indentation error, expected an indented block in that case. You have to put appropriate white spaces. You can put 2, you can put 4, but make sure to put the same white spaces or the same level of white spaces for lines in the same body. And after completing the body of the conditional if statement or any block of code, for example, for the while loop or any block of code in Python programming language, if you remove indentation after completing the body, this will mark the end of that block of code. So easy and so simple. And in this block of code, if you put the 4 white spaces again, you will see everything work without any problems, without any errors. As you can see, the output, if the condition or the test expression for the conditional if statement is true, the program will execute hello world as an output. This is a simple overview about indentation in Python programming language. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson about string data type in Python programming language. You can use strings in Python programming language to store collection of characters in between single quotes or double quotes. Or you can use also triple quotes to store or to create multiple line string data type or docstring. In Python programming language, a string is immutable, so you cannot change any character from inside a string data type after you create it. Now let's get started to show how to create a string data type in Python programming language and some operations based on strings in Python. The class that a string data type in Python programming language belongs to is class str. This is the name of that class. And by using the type built-in function for a string data type, for example here, the type built-in function and its argument, welcome to Jupiter, you will get str. Or by using the print function, and in between the print function you can place this type built-in function inside it. Also you will get class str, not only str, and this is the name of the class, refers to strings. And you can store string data type in between double quotes or single quotes, and you can assign a string data type to a variable. For example here, we store this string or we assign this string data type Python data analysis and visualization to this special variable or to this variable called name, and follow the rules for naming variables to name this variable. And by using the type built-in function after that, you can see the type of name or the type of the value for the name variable is str, because this is a string data type, collection of characters in between double quotes. In between double quotes for the string data type, you can store text, you can store numbers, and in this example here, high number 1 2 3, and this is considered a string data type also because this kind of data in between double quotes. So the value of mix in this case is a string, also a iterable object. And by using or by calling the type built-in function for mix in this case, you will get str, the type of high number 1 to 3 inside double quotes. Let's take another example. Let's create a variable, and this variable is called new underscore str, and we are gonna store another string data type inside this variable. But you can see in this example here we used single quotes inside double quotes. It's available to do that in Python programming language, and you can do the opposite. You can use double quotes inside single quotes, and by typing the variable name and hitting shift enter, you will get its value. You will get its value by running this cell directly. And the value of new underscore str variable is, we said that Python is powerful. But if you try to put double quotes inside double quotes or single quotes inside single quotes, you will get an error. You will get error for that. You must skip that using backslash. And you can see here we get syntax error in this example because we use double quotes inside double quotes. This is invalid syntax. And to solve this error, just put backslash before the inner double quotes. Any inner double quote, put backslash before it, exactly as in this example here. And now you can see everything is working without any problem, without any error. Also, to get the number of characters inside a string data type, you can use the len built-in function. You can call the len built-in function to get the length of a string data type. For example here, to get the length of a new str1, we used the len built-in function by calling it using its name, and by hitting shift enter or shift return to run this statement, you will get 33 characters inside this string data type that is inside new underscore str1. Also, a string data type is 0 based index, so the first character inside a string data type has the index 0, the second character has the index 1, and so on. If you want to access the first character from inside new str1 from the string data type that is inside the variable called new str1, you will get w, as you can see. And if you want to access the second character, you can use a variable name that contains our string data type followed by square brackets and put 1 inside square brackets after the variable name or after the string name. And you can see we got the second character from inside the string data type. The output is E in that case. And you can do the same thing to access the third character from inside the string data type by using the index 2 and so on. Also, if you want to create a string data type in multi-line but by using double quotes or single quotes, not triple quotes, you can do that using this way here. You can see by using this way, we put backslash at the end of each line. This is a multiple line string data, then backslash in Python programming, then backslash after that. It's a very easy way, as you can see, and this is the last line. You don't need to put backslash here. And by using double quotes or single quotes, you can use backslash at the end of each line like that. If you try to remove any backslash from these backslashes, you will get an error. And the output, as you can see, by typing the variable name new underscore multiple, which we assigned the string data type to it, and after that hit shift enter or shift return to show the output, and you will see the full string data type or the full message. You can see this is a multiple line string data in Python programming. It's a very easy way, as you can see. Now let's move on to talk about triple quotes to create multiple line string data type. Here in this example here, we created a variable new multiple 1, and its value is a multiple line string data type in between double quotes. Another way to create multiple line string for multiple line text paragraph. It's easy also. This is our string data type. our multiple line string data type without any need to use backslashes or anything like that. And by typing the variable name, new multiple one, and hit shift enter or return, or go to the cell menu to run this cell, you will get the output. Another way to create multiple line string, and then \n refers to the next line to add line break. For multiple line text paragraph, then line break. It's easy also. This is our output, or this is the message that is stored inside the new multiple one variable. In Python programming language, you can use the plus sign to concatenate or to combine strings data type. Let's take a simple example for that. We have an example here. Word1 is equal to Python, the first string data type, and the second string data type is equal to programming, or is programming using double quotes, and we assign this string data type to word2. And after that, we created another variable to combine word1 and word2, to combine Python and programming. And also we used a white space in between double quotes between them to add a space in between Python and programming. Word1 plus double quotes, then white space in between double quotes to add a space in between two words, then word2, programming. And by typing the variable name full text, you will get Python programming, and you will see white space between the two variables or the two strings. And also you can use the print function if you wish to print out full text, to print out Python programming on the screen, not only typing the variable name and hit shift enter or shift return to show the value, or to show the output, in that case Python programming. Also, you can access range of characters from inside a string data type. And we have an example here, full text, and we want to access from index 0 to index 4, but the last index is not included. The character that has the index 4 is not included. Only we want to include the index 0, the index 1, the index 2, and the index 3. P, the index 0, Y, the index 1, T, the index 2, and H, the index 3, but the last index 4 is not included in this process, so you can see this in the output by hitting shift enter or shift return. Also, it's available to use negative indexing for strings in Python programming language. You can use the index -1 to access the last character in a string data type. Negative indexing will start counting from the end of a string data type. So -1 is the last character inside a string data type, -2 is the second last character, and so on. So in this example here, the last character inside the full text string data type is G. The last character inside programming, you can see. Just put the variable name or a string data type followed by the index number or the negative index number inside square brackets like -1, as you can see. Also, if you want to access range of characters from inside a string data type, you can leave out or you can remove the starting point, or you can delete the starting index number. Exactly as in this example here, we want to access from the beginning of the full text to the index 7. By leaving out the starting index number, in this case the slicing will start from the beginning of the string data type to the index number 7, but the index number 7 is not included. The last index or the ending index number is not included, as in this example here, 7 is not included, so you will get Python followed by single white space. And by leaving out the ending point or the ending index, you can start from a specific index, for example here 7, to the end of characters or to the end of a string data type, as in this example here for full text. We access the items from the index number 7 to the end of this string data type. So the output you can see by hitting shift enter or return, programming. And there are many useful functions inside the Python library that you can use with strings in Python programming language. For example, the upper function in this example to make all the characters in the uppercase. Another method you can call is the lower function. You can call the lower function after the variable name, also after the dot notation in between them. And by calling the lower function with an empty parenthesis for the string data type, you will get all the characters in lower case or in the small case, as in this example here, Python programming in the lower case using the lower built-in function. And as we said beforehand, to get the length of a string data type in Python programming language, you can call the len built-in function. Exactly as in this example here, the argument for the len built-in function is the full text variable that contains our text or our string data type, and the number of characters inside the string data type is 18, as you can see. Now, the last function we have in this lesson is the strip function. Also, it's a built-in function from the Python programming library, and this function will return a copy of the string data type with both leading and trailing characters removed. So the strip built-in function will remove spaces or white spaces at the beginning and at the end of a string data type. That's it, so simple and so easy. And there are many functions for strings in Python programming language inside the Python library. That's it for this lesson. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson. In this lesson we are gonna be discussing numbers in Python programming language and also mathematical operations. There are three types of numbers in Python programming language: integer numbers that belongs to the class int, floating point numbers that belongs to the class float, and also complex numbers. And this is the third type of numbers in Python programming language. Complex is the name of the class that this number belongs to or this type belongs to. And to convert to integer numbers in Python programming language, you can use the function or the built-in function int by calling it. And to convert to floating point numbers in Python programming language, you can use the float built-in function by calling it also from the Python library. And to convert to complex numbers in Python, you can use the complex built-in function. You can use the complex built-in function by calling it using its name followed by parentheses, and you can put the arguments in between the parentheses of that function. And after all of that, we will be talking about mathematical operations and its order. For example, if you have a mathematical operation that contains all these operations, that contains parentheses, exponents, then multiplication, division, addition or the plus sign, and also subtraction or minus sign, the first operation that the program will execute is the parentheses, followed by exponents, followed by multiplication, followed by division or integer division or remainder, then the plus sign or the addition operation, and the last thing that the program will execute is the subtraction operation. Let's take a simple example for the first type of numbers, which is int. You can see in this case, x is equal to 10. The value of this variable is equal to 10. Integer number data type. Any number without any decimal point. Any number without any decimal point is considered integer number data type. And this is for positive numbers, also in addition to 0 and negative numbers. And by using the type built-in function for x variable to get the type of its value, you will get int. This is the class name or this is the type that this value 10 belongs to. Also, you can use the int built-in function, the int built-in function to convert a number, for example x, to integer number data type if x is not integer number, but in this case x is integer number data type, so you will get also integer number as an output, exactly as the input in that case. But if you put inside the parentheses of the int built-in function, for example, a floating point number, this will convert it to integer number data type. And we have a simple example here for that. This is y, and its value is a string data type now, not integer number data type, because this number in between double quotes, any number in between double quotes like that or single quotes, this is considered a string data type, not a number. And by using the type built-in function to get the type of y, to access the type of its value, this is a string data type, str. str is a class name that this type of data belongs to, not integer number data type. And by using the int built-in function after that to convert this string data type to integer number, you will see the output in that case is an integer number 11, not a string data type. You can use the type built-in function after that and you will get int, not str or string. And we have two examples here to convert a string data type to a number, for example 2 in between the parentheses of the int built-in function as an argument or as a value for this function, and the output is an integer number is 2, not a string data type. And also we converted a floating point number with a decimal point 3.5 to 3. This is integer number data type is converted from 3.5, and then built-in function converts 3.5 to this integer number data type without any decimal point. Now let's talk about floating point numbers or floats in Python programming language. A floating point number or a float is any number with a decimal point, and this is for negative or positive numbers. For example here, the type of x variable is float. This is the name of the value of x variable belongs to, and because this variable or this value contains a decimal point in between 4 and 9, this is considered float or floating point number. And you can use the float built-in function to convert a string data type or convert an integer number to floating point number. For example here, we converted the value of y from string data type to floating point number, which is 11.0, and also we called the float built-in function to convert 23 from integer number to floating point number, and after that we did the same thing for a string data type in between double quotes, and this string data type is 3.1 in between double quotes, and this is considered a string data type, not a number. And by using the float built-in function for this data type, this will convert it to floating point number, as you can see 3.1 as an output once you run or once you hit shift enter to run this cell. And we have another example here, the value of z or the result from the z variable in this case, and we know that using the type built-in function it's a floating point number, and by using the float built-in function after that you can convert this number if this number not float, but in this case this number is a floating point number, so there is no need to use the float built-in function for z. But this is another example to clarify that you can put another value instead of the value of z. In this case you can put, for example, integer number data type to convert it to float using the float built-in function. Now let's talk about complex numbers in Python programming language. A complex number is a number that contains two parts, real part and imaginary part. The real part with a real number and the imaginary part with the j symbol. And you can see in this case we have a simple example. The value of w variable in this case is a complex number data type. The real part for this number is 9 and the imaginary part is -7j. So once you use the type built-in function to get the type of w, to access the type or the type of the class that this w belongs to or the value of w belongs to, you will get complex. This is the class name that this data type belongs to. And if you want to use the print function with the type built-in function for w, you will get class complex. Also after that you can use the complex built-in function from the Python library by calling it to convert to complex numbers. For example, here the complex number to convert the value of w, but the value of w in that case is a complex number, so the output is a complex number in between parentheses. And another example for that, to convert an integer number to a complex number, so the output is a complex number. We converted the value and the value is 38, and the converted output is 38 plus 0g in that case. This is the complex number from this operation or from this data type. Now let's talk about mathematical operations in Python programming language. You can do the basic mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. For example, here the addition operation using the plus sign, 10 plus 55 is equal to 65, and the subtraction operation using the minus sign after that, and after that also the multiplication operation using asterisk operator or the asterisk sign, and the last thing, the division operation using slash. And the output from any division operation like that using slash in Python programming language is a floating point number. So the output from dividing 12 by 2 is a floating point number, 6.0, not only 6. The output is floating point number, as you can see. Also, you can use integer division in Python programming language or floor division using double slash. 12 double slash 2. The output in this case is an integer number data type, not a floating point number. You can do the same thing with any numbers. Let's talk about exponentiation or exponents in Python programming language. You can use double asterisk for that in Python. For example, here 2 to the power 2 is equal to 4. 8 to the power 2 is equal to 64. So simple, as you can see, using double asterisk for exponents or exponentiation in Python programming language. In Python, you can use the percentage sign or the modulo operator to get the rest from any division operation. For example, here the rest from dividing 11 by 3 is equal to 2. And also another example, the rest from dividing 12 by 3 is equal to 0. This is the remainder from this division operation from dividing 12 by 3 in that case is equal to 0. And another example here, the remainder of dividing 13 by 3. In that case, the output is equal to 1. And in Python programming language, if you want to divide any number by 0, you will get an error. You will get 0 division error, integer division, or modulo by 0. This is an error. And if you want to divide any number by 0 using modulo operator, using slash, using double slash, you will get 0 division error, exactly as you can see for these examples. And also you can use Python programming language as a calculator or for many mathematical operations at once. For example, here 2 multiplied by 10 minus 5 plus 12 divided by 7 in between parentheses. The program will execute the parentheses or anything in between parentheses first, followed by the multiplication operation. So 12 divided by 7 will execute it first, then 2 multiplied by 10, then the addition and the subtraction. And the output for this operation, as you can see, once you hit shift enter or shift return, we got 16.7 and so on. Let's take another example. 0.7 minus 11.3 multiplied by 12 plus 5.7 in between parentheses, and the output by hitting shift enter or shift return in this case is this output here, minus 199.3. Also, there are some mathematical functions in Python programming language to facilitate the process of any mathematical operation. For example, here you can call the power function or the pow function for any exponentiation operation. For example, here you can call the power function and the first argument is equal to 2 and the second argument is equal to 3, and this is like 2 to the power 3, and the output from this operation is equal to 8. As you can see, 2 to the power 3 is equal to 8. Also, you can use another function called round, and this function will give you a rounded version for a given number. And we have some examples here for using the round built-in function by calling it. For example, to get the round of 4.2 is equal to 4, the rounded number or the rounded version for 4.5 is equal to 4, and the rounded version or the rounded number for 455 is equal to 5 in that case. Also, in Python programming language, you can use the if string to insert a number inside a string data type. We have an example here. We created a variable, and this variable is called x, and its value is a floating point number or a number 9.21, and the print function in that case to print out the output of our operation, which is by using the if string, using the if keyword or the if character, followed by we are printing the value of x, which is, and the placeholder for the x variable inside this if string. And by hitting shift enter or shift return, you will get the full string. We are printing the value of x, which is, and the value of the x variable is inserted inside the string data type, and the value of x variable is 921, as you can see. Try to do the same thing with any different number. Also, inside the if string, you can display the value of x with 2 decimal numbers using .2f. Also, you can display it with only a single decimal number with .1f. 1f for only 1 decimal number, and 2f for 2 decimal numbers. And you can see this in the output once you hit shift enter or shift return, exactly as we did in this example. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again next lesson.